Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the market one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. And today, ladies and gentlemen, you guys just saw what the market cycle can do for you if you are paying attention. So let's take a look at that market cycle. Let's look at Ethereum, the big news of the day today. Ethereum breaking the $300 level since basically all the way back until the before the big Ethereum run. So a full retracement in the move in Ethereum. So congratulations, hodlers. Congratulations. Now, $269 Ethereum right now. We have some pretty interesting volume signatures. But what happened on this breakdown? Why did this occur? Was there a news announcement? Did the Ethereum network fail? What was the fundamental reason, or was it strictly herd psychology and price action? Well, I'm pretty much going to give you the answer. Herd psychology and price action, ladies and gentlemen. There was no news article that made this happen. There was nothing like that. So what you see here is a very well-defined bear flag that I've had on my chart for quite some time, probably since we had this second down thrust here. I don't remember precisely, but a breakdown of this bear flag was very well telegraphed. Very nicely formed downtrend, very nicely formed bear flag, and then moving right into new lows, subsequently killing this level. Here, remember when we paused here and broke above the $420 level, had a nice rally? Yeah, all those gains are gone. Those are all gone. Now we're moving into new lows, breaking a very important and very well-defined trend line here, going all the way back to the initial rally from Ethereum, going back about from March of 2017. So lining up this area with this area, and this is the longest and lowest trend line I could find in Ethereum. There may be one more that like takes us out like this, that may actually line up with my measured move here. And this line right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a measured move in Ethereum. And I've had this here for a long time. I've had this here since the bear flag. This is nothing new. This isn't breaking news. This is something you guys have been watching for the past several videos. So if you guys think what I do doesn't work, if you think what I do is garbage, if you think I forecast after the fact, go watch my last two public videos, where every time we've talked about Ethereum, I believe this trend line has been here. Okay, it's been here the entire time. Now we haven't hit it yet. We're at 268. We're not down here towards 100 or 85. Actually, 85 is I believe where the line goes to. But breaking down from 500 to 300, pretty aggressive. $200 move. Can you do another $180 in Ethereum? I think it's possible. I don't think it's quite as aggressive as this sell-off. We had a nice little pause earlier here this evening after I did an extreme stream based on the market sell-off, and just thought I'd jump on real quick and talk to some nice people, talk to some people with similar viewpoints, talk to people with opposing viewpoints and some strange, weird viewpoints. And, we watched Ethereum kind of bounce here. We watched Bitcoin sell off sub $6,000 for the fourth time since we've topped in Bitcoin. We kind of watched that happen, and we watched it stop and reverse. I mean, it was pretty good. It was a fun time. And we looked at all of these altcoins. So all the names that you know and love are pretty much broken right now. And what do I mean by broken? Well, quite literally broken. This trend line broken. And when you have a trend line this long being broken, it implies that whatever this is gone now. It's just erased. Okay, all this bullishness is essentially wiped, and any semblance we had of potentially continuing a bull market here. I know everyone's been waiting for this, right? Moon, Lambo, whatever your term is for that. Everyone's waiting for this. Well, instead we get this, and breaking this trend line kills the bear market, or I'm sorry, the bull market. Just kills the bull market. And with Ethereum being the leader of the altcoins, that's what you get. Now, one altcoin that's actually acting better than most is XLM, Stellar Lumens right now. I have a couple of conflicting trend lines on my chart here. First, you're going to see this triangle that I have in orange. So this is kind of the immediate flag that we're in. You're also going to see two longer term trend lines. This one was broken already, and this one has yet to be broken. And XLM still holding up relatively well, not undercutting this trend line. So still, this flat area is still intact. That's pretty much the only coin in the market right now you can say that is very strong is XLM. Everything is pretty much decimated. To be quite frank with you, everything. You got Bitcoin Cash here taking out lows here definitively at $4.92. You've got Litecoin at $52. And I can remember back at $100 when people were saying, load up on Litecoin, it's cheap. And I'm like, I don't think that's such a good idea. And the rule of thumb here is that the more times a trend line is tested, the more likely it is to fail. And I think in Bitcoin, we may be right here. We may be due for one of these little minor bounces, then a rollover in the near future. That's kind of my general feeling about Bitcoin and Litecoin. This is kind of what I think is going to happen right at this 110 level. But we've been telegraphing, we telegraphed this 110, we telegraphed this bear flag. We've been pretty much on top of most of these market situations. So Cardano doing the same thing, breaking market levels. We have this trend line broken very definitively. Also the support level broken very definitively. We've got IOTA's just dead. It's at 42 cents. It was at $1 2 weeks ago. We have Tron very similarly broken long-term support, broken trend lines. Everything's broken. There's your breakdown line in Tron. So, you know, Tron's gone. We have Ethereum Classic, which even after the Coinbase pump, which we had to sell in the power hour up here towards 19 bucks. Like the second the Coinbase news happened, I'm like, guys, just sell Ethereum Classic. That's what we called for. And then subsequently breaking, and here's the support for Ethereum Classic. Gone. Monero has been broken for quite a long time. Monero broke a high, a very long-term trend line right here. That 150 level, you can see acting as resistance right there. Support, 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 support. Broke there. Became resistance. Failed here, failed here, failed here. Rolling over. Going down to a very, very long-term trend line. This is a very aggressive, non-aggressive trend line, which shows you just how weak the general market is right here. Bouncing off of it right there. Do you think that is coincidence? Guys, go back and watch my videos. This line's been here. This line hasn't moved. I haven't touched this line forever. Line up this with this, and it pretty much lines up with that. Looks like TradingView likes to move my lines. This one did move a little bit, it looks like. And not much, though. Not really much to change the outcome there. But you get the gist of it, guys. These trend lines are of major importance. Also a bear flag here. And it just happens. I mean, they just work out. I can't tell you why. I don't know if the whales are watching it, but they do work out. So they're very important. NEO, these trend lines have been broken for quite a long time. And you can see this measured move line I've had here in my chart for a while. Looks like we're almost coming to a point where it's hit it. I mean, this is basically a hit, right? Like if you shorted NEO up on the break of this trend line here, if you shorted NEO there and waited for that measured move, it's basically been hit. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, right now NEO putting in a little bit of a bottoming candle, but nothing looking like it wants to really rally here. I'm assuming this route to the downside for alts will continue. And then when it does end, when the altcoin sell-off does finally stop, I have a sinking suspicion that's when we're going to see Bitcoin fail. Just have a sinking suspicion. So just to add insult to injury, I think when the altcoins start to base out a little bit and start to calm down, I think is when Bitcoin is going to fail. Because right now, all that altcoin money is flooding into Bitcoin. And then when that money is nice and safe in Bitcoin, and we're still floating around, you know, $6,000, $6,400, $6,500, and I have a potential level for Bitcoin to get to. I'll talk about that in a minute up here at 72. When that happens, I pretty much think it's done. So now let's talk about this level for a little bit here. And to understand what this level is, you have to understand each of these highs a little bit as well. So each of these highs, the lower lows we've been talking about here at Real Crypto for a while, every bounce off of this level has gone on to make a lower high. And if you put this in logarithmic scale, something really interesting starts to happen. You start to notice that all of these are equal on a percentage basis, right? And that is not moving on a percentage basis. Very strange. 15% there, 14.66% there, 15% there, and this is the next one, which is going to end up being also the same, about 15%. So if Bitcoin is due one more rally, now you saw earlier I said Bitcoin may just come up and do that, and it could do that. This is called an H pattern. If you guys aren't familiar with that, I think Ethereum did one earlier today. This is an H pattern. We could do an H pattern here, We recently bounced off this just the 5,900 level, and we could H out here, and that would really round us over for the downside. But if we do get higher, we can, I think, get as high as 7,200. If we get that high, that would really require the alts to pretty much stop doing what they're doing immediately. So, but a route up to 72 is not out of the cards. It would be actually in line with all of these lower highs. And then we would roll over and break 5,800. But very similarly to Litecoin at $110, the more times you touch a trend line, the more likely it is to fail. And so you can see right here, we came down here to 6,000, bounced, just tested 5,900 earlier in the live stream. And we'll see if we go down a little bit lower and tend to rally, or if we rally right here. But we could rally, we could get higher, we could get as high as 72. Don't know what form this is going to take yet, but this immediate downtrend here in Bitcoin, let's go down to the 2-hour charts now. This immediate downtrend in Bitcoin, we only poked above it for a very short period of time, with basically looks like 2 candles closed above it, this one and this one. And look at the volume. There's no interest in Bitcoin up here. That's what this low volume implies. You see the same thing at 20,000. No interest by the bulls in Bitcoin here, okay? And then subsequently rolling over immediately, having a nice bottoming candle and getting a little bit of a bounce here, but it's not that aggressive. The volume's not very high. 1 hour left in a 2-hour candle. Probably going to see volume right about here, okay? So we'll see what happens with the pop here, but I don't think too much. But you know, if in time we do kind of poke up and do a semblance of an H pattern, I think we're going to round right over. But the fact that we couldn't even break this trend line here, ladies and gentlemen, before making new lows, just a testament to how weak the general market is. And the altcoins are really a huge component of this weakness, obviously. And what's happening is everyone's coming to the fact that this bear market is for real. There's been a lot of people out there that just thought, oh, it's going to bounce, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. They've just been very bullish for no reason except some people on Twitter told them to be bullish. And they're suffering those consequences right now, unfortunately. And you can see it in all the prices of every single altcoin. Every single altcoin, pretty much, except for XLM. So 99% of altcoins. But you're seeing a flight from risk here. You're seeing all the crap coins being sold off the worst. Tron. Apparently Ethereum's a crap coin because that sold off very aggressively. Ethereum. Tron sold off very aggressively. Neo sold off very aggressively. BNB was pretty aggressive. It's been up pretty high for a while. So those have been also VET, VeChain. Those coins that were selling off the most aggressively in the market. You saw ADA, Cardano trying to catch up, still down 9% as a matter of fact. So take a look at that. You can see that very aggressive sell-off. It wasn't as aggressive. So here's its bear flag. It wasn't as aggressive as the rest of them. And it started to get aggressive, and you can see here it's staying down because people are taking risk off of the table. And what do? Is they sell the coins that they don't like. They sell the coins where the network isn't very good. Like Cardano, there's no network yet. It's not even a live blockchain, so why would you keep risk on the table in something that's not even actually viable with any apps on it yet? And so I think the bear message is very clear at this point in time. I think it's very clear to everyone, and that's why you're seeing this risk being just removed from the table. It's just being taken away, and no one is supporting the market. Everyone's watching the market fall. There's more downside to come in time. You know, we never go straight down. I'm not saying we fell right here. If you look at Cardano here, we fell, chopped around, fell, chopped around, fell. So we're going to go back into a choppy action, but I mean, in time, this market will go lower. There's pretty much no doubt about that. Pretty big altcoin winner here, guys. I think we're going to stay low for quite some time. Trade the bounces, take your profits very quickly if you're interested, but this flight from risk is going to continue. And by reading the market cycle, guys, if you view Ethereum as kind of a bellwether for the altcoins, you can see it's pretty much game over in terms of trying to bounce back at some point in time. It doesn't appear that we're really interested in doing that. All this volume, this is my 2-hour chart. I really hawk the 2-hour chart. You can see all this volume right here. We do have one little bottoming candle, but failure to go higher in any major fashion. If you don't get rolling here overnight, then it's probably going to be sideways consolidation for Ethereum. Maybe like this, maybe like this, maybe like this. Who knows? Who knows? But it'll end up being lower. So market is not healthy right now, guys. It is in a position to take defensive positions if you're going to play bounces. Really know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, stay out of the market. All right, stay out of the market. If you can't stay out of the market, shameless plug for my power hour, because one of the feedback that I've gotten from people in my power hour is anti-FOMO, anti-FUD. Okay, get out of your own head, get other opinions. You know what I'm saying? And that's really that's one of the main things we do here in the power hour. All right, so go to my website, real-crypto.com, click on the services link. You can sign up for the power hour here. Try it out for a month, see if you guys like it, see if it helps your trading, see if it stops you from making mistakes. Okay, because a lot of times we just make silly mistakes because we don't know any different. And you'll watch a video, but you'll have questions after the video where maybe you can't get a hold of the guy. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. And 7 days a week we do an hour to 2 hours. We did a 2-hour session today, and guys, it's good information. It'll help you guys out, I promise. I mean, I haven't had anyone come back and say, you know what, Randy, that's really not worth the money. I want my money back. I've never once had someone ask for their money back. Anyway, guys, if you don't want to do that, good luck on your own. Try to find a chat group or something. Try to find someone that you resonate with. And, it's going to take a little bit of time. But if you can't afford the $65, then do that. But do something. Get out of your own head. Look for secondary opinions. Look for people to challenge you on your theses. And I think that's very important in trading. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me today. That's pretty much all I got for the video. The altcoins are due a rest at some point in time. I don't know when it's going to happen. Bitcoin not breaking 5,800, but it probably will. And we're either going to form a bear flag consolidation, which is what I've been looking for here, or we're going to do some kind of a larger H pattern. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. But so far, staying above 59, as long as we maintain this low, I think we're good for now in Bitcoin at least. And in terms of the rest of the alts, guys, it's just up in the air. If you're buying down here, I think it's still a gamble. But if you do, please make sure you have a stop loss underneath these most recent lows. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time.